Welcome to this Mangold tutorial about descriptive statistics in Interact. Besides its various and versatile coding capabilities, Interact offers a variety of descriptive statistics out of the box. The moment some data is entered in the regular class columns of multiple events, the corresponding statistics are instantly available in Interact. Let's take a look at the available results based on this demo file named Multi-Purpose Analysis Demo that comes pre-installed with every Interact installation. This file contains dummy data, simulating a compilation of 10 different sessions for 2 different trials. Each session is stored in a separate set, and these sessions are again grouped per trial into different data groups in Interact. The 3 different types of behavior are logged in separate classes per person, covering gestures, emotions, and talk. This structure works well for 2 subjects and a limited number of classes. A different code class structure is probably better for a more complex code system and more subjects per session. However, that is not one of our concerns in this video. On the Analysis tab, the first section is about data evaluation. This is where we find the Statistics menu. Let's start with the Statistics per code, report, because it is best suited for this explanation. In the first dialog, we can disable codes and classes we are currently not interested in. Presuming we only want to examine the behavior of person 1, we select only those 3 classes. The next dialog only appears when more than one dataset is present, allowing us to limit the data pool to specific sessions only. We keep all sessions selected to analyze all data for the selected codes. The results dialog shows, grouped per session, a line for each code, and the columns hold the numbers for various statistics. The frequency column shows the accumulated number of occurrences per code. So, in this case, person 1 made a pointing gesture 15 times in this first session and smiled 20 times. The duration column holds the accumulated duration per code, per session. In this sample data, the 15-point gestures lasted for a little over 56 seconds. The shortest event with this code lasted only 1.168 seconds, as shown in the min-dur column, whereas the longest event for that code lasted almost 6 seconds as listed in the max-dur column. The percentage over time column tells us how large the part of each behavior was in relation to the duration of the session itself. The session duration is displayed here at the top of each session block, so the accumulated duration for the code point divided by the total duration of the session results in 4.28% coverage. Because the behaviors overlap in time, totaling these percentages will result in more than 100%. Only if all codes are mutually exclusive and exhaustive would the total of this column be 100%. Another interesting value is the latency in seconds. This value reflects the time that has passed since the start of the session and the first occurrence of that code. In this case, the point behavior was logged at the immediate start of the session, so its latency is 0. Whereas the first smile occurred 26.28 seconds after the start of this first session. The next 2 columns show 2 different types of duration averages followed by the duration-based standard deviation per code. Last but not least, the same statistics are available on the gaps around the occurrences of each code. Because sometimes what doesn't happen is even more important than what does. If your copy of Interact does not show all these values, the missing values can be activated in the Program Settings on the General tab under Behavior, Statistics. Interesting values can be activated or disabled in the Statistical Values to Show list. The very same values are also available in another structure if we call the Statistics per Code Tables command. Again, we can select only the codes we are currently interested in and limit the data pool if we want. But after confirming both dialogues, the resulting table now shows a single line per dataset or session instead of the block with codes per set we examined before. Each code is now displayed in a column, resulting in an easy-to-read cross-table for each value type. Each value type is now available on its own tab. For example, the frequencies, the cumulative duration, or the percentages over time. This makes further processing of the results much easier. You probably noticed the coloring in this table, which differs per tab. These colors help you to orientate across sessions because they quarter the results based on the value range per column, and thus per code. You can change these colors in the settings right here. In this example, white stands for the lowest 25% within that column, and dark green is used for the highest 25% of the values within that column. If another color is more appropriate for, let's say, the highest values, change the last colored square to adjust it to your liking. After confirmation, that color has now changed. If the colors are distracting, hide them with a single click on this paint icon. Another helpful feature is that, within this table, we can summarize the current figures across all sessions by clicking this sum icon. The results at the bottom provide an overall summary and show the highest and lowest values, as well as averages, variances, and standard deviations, all per code and across all sessions. Using the icons at the top, these results can be copied to the clipboard, exported as CSV or text per value tab, or as an Excel file that holds all value tabs visible in this results dialog. In that case, each tab becomes a separate worksheet in an Excel workbook. In addition to the plain set-based descriptive statistics we have covered so far using the statistics per code routines, Interact also offers some alternative views on these data. First, there is the statistics on all intervals of a given code command. This routine keeps the original set structure but provides information about what happened during a specific state or behavior. For example, what else happened during all situations in which person 1 smiled? In session 1, person 1 smiled 20 times. This means that in this report, the data is chopped into 20 sections or intervals with variable durations, matching the logged smile events. In this report, only the codes that were coded during these smile intervals are counted in the otherwise same results window. The duration for each occurrence of smile is displayed in the first column, and the respective values for the other codes are listed in the table per code and interval. Should you need the accumulated numbers for all periods where the code smile was coded, we can copy those results to Excel and summarize them per session externally. Alternatively, using Interact only, the Trim on Code filter available in the timeline chart helps us to do just that. How that works will be covered in the timeline chart tutorial. Another simple statistic is the order of code appearance report. This table lists the order in which each code was coded the first time per session in 2 different versions. One tab shows the order per class, and another shows the results across classes. In both cases, the time of each code's first occurrence is displayed in the time value column. Similar to the code-based interval report discussed before, there is also a time-based interval report. As usual, we can limit the codes and the sets if we want, but presuming we want to analyze all data, we simply confirm both dialogues. Next, a settings dialog appears, allowing us to select the value type we are interested in and specify the length of our interval timeframe, which is here set to 30 seconds. When the option to create a single table is cleared, Interact creates a single tab for every interval, each tab listing the results for all sets during the current interval. When we do not want to create so many different tabs, but want all results for all intervals in a single table, we must select the Show Data in a Single Table option. With this option activated, all intervals are displayed in a single tab, sorted by interval, first listing the results for all sets during interval 1, continuing with all results for interval 2, etc. A somewhat different view on the data offers the Class Report. This report provides accumulated statistics for all selected datasets, including the frequency of all codes per class, as well as the duration, all grouped per class. The count column totals the number of codes logged for that class and lists the number of not coded events, which represents the events that hold a code from another class. Summarizing those two values gives us the total number of events within all selected sets. For the rate coded value percentage, the sum per code is divided by the sum without empty events value, and thus adds up to 100%. The rate all percentage is computed by dividing the summarized frequency per code by the sum over all events value. The same is done for the respective duration values. The statistics on codes aggregated per class command is similar to the statistics on codes reports explained at the beginning of this video, except that the results table lists only the totals per class, accumulating the values across all codes for that class. Also very interesting is the statistics on metadata routine, but that one will be explained in the metadata tutorial. The statistics on numerical classes routine can only be applied to special numerical classes and is not part of this tutorial. The two sequential analysis routines at the bottom require an additional license and will be covered in the separate sequential analysis tutorial. We are happy to speed up your research, so watch our other videos to learn more.